talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan.
Welcome to the 9th episode of the CEO Show. Remember, this is the show that always comes to you every Tuesday from 7:30 to 9. And the main aim of this show is always to bring you guests and people in the business industry who are going to share their experiences, the way they have grown their empires to where they are. And the most important thing is the fact that they'll be sharing their stories, their challenges, and what is it that has made them to where they are. It is always very inspirational, educative, and very insightful. I'm your host, Dan. Tonight we are talking about ladies in business, and our guest tonight is one of the ladies in the industry of talk about cosmetics, and he has brought an amazing product to the industry. And this is somebody who has a background in psychology, but she chose to venture into this amazing business. She'll be sharing about the journey where she began and where she is currently. And at the end of the day, the ladies outside there, be ready to be inspired and also to be spurred to get into business. Our guest tonight is none other but Lily Okeyo, who is the director and the founder of CAALY Naturals Limited. She'll be talking about our journey to greatness. Welcome, Lily. People have been looking forward to this interview. Welcome.
Thank you.
Okay.
It's a pleasure
to
be here, and thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who is Lily Okeyo?
Wow. I wear so many hats. I'm a mom, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a philanthropist. I do a lot of stuff.
Okay.
And born and bred in Eldoret. Studied in Eldoret for quite up to grade 3. Then from there moved to Nairobi up to grade 8. Then came back to up to grade 7 rather. Came back to Hill School. I'm a Hill School alumni.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Then
Moved forward to high school. I went to 3 high schools in Eldoret and 1 in Kitale. Okay. And after that, after high school, I first volunteered as a child life assistant here at MTRH. I used to work with babies, abandoned babies, and it inspired me now to go into psychology, which I went, studied, graduated from Moi University with a psychology degree, and I've been working as a therapist with 15 plus years of experience.
Just before you proceed, because you seem to have a wealth of, of a journey, but now moving in high school, 3 schools, what is it that necessitated you from one school to another?
Interesting story. So my mom, I'm an only girl, and my mom for a long time believed that girls who play basketball were bika. So anyway, on a light note, she was very overprotective, and I was playing basketball too much, maybe. And when I was in Form 2, she felt like, no, you need to go to a boarding school. Shock on her. The boarding school she took me to also had a basketball court, although it was in Kitale, in rural area Kitale. I won't mention the name because right now the school is very beautiful. They built awesome classes, but when I went to that school, our basketball court was dusty maram, and then we would pour chalk dust to demarcate the boundaries. I used to play forward or center. I was very good at basketball. It gave me this injury. Yeah, but then one time they came to visit, one thing led to another. They discovered I'm still playing, and it's like, you know what, come back, you're coming back to day school. And I came back, went to a day school. For some time I thought, like, you know what, I'm not going to go back to school because my mom was very angry at me. And I understandably so. I wasn't putting too much effort academically, and also on the other hand, I was playing basketball, which she didn't like.
And can you tell that this affected your performance in school?
In fact, it made me perform well because I was masking the basketball with a good academic performance. So if you come home with a B or a B minus or a C plus, then she wouldn't guess that you're playing until they came to visit and they found I'm not within the school premises. We had gone for basketball tournaments. And then other things happened within the school that forced my mom to now say, you know what, you need to come home. And I had a time to reflect. And of course, for me, education is everything. Being half Maasai, and you know about the culture and education, and back in the day, it wasn't such a priority for girls. So for me, I knew my way out, and how to make it in life was education. I really loved to read, but it wasn't such a priority for girls the way we were raised in the community that we were in at the time. So I remember when mom said, now you need to stay at home and think whether you want to go to study. I went to the schools in Eldoret, UG, Wareng, everywhere. In fact, in Wareng, when I went, the principal told me, we've just admitted the last person. I was in Form 3 at the time.
So you're supposed to be admitted for Form 3?
Yes, second term. So I wasn't lucky. I ended up going to a very, you know, those schools where people are sent to just finish school. Yeah, it used to be called C.E.O. Academy at the time. You know, parents just send you there, just finish, maliza tupate certificate.
Do you think your mom had given up on you?
No. She wasn't even aware I was looking for a school, but I knew I did not want to repeat. When I put my mind to something, I push until I get it. So I knew what I don't want, and I would do whatever it took. Like whichever school will admit me in Form 3, I was willing to go because I had opportunities to repeat Form 2. And I didn't want to. So yeah, anyway. When the principal saw my grades, he asked me, he was called Mr. Kigondo. He was very supportive. He asked me, are you sure you want to come to this school with your grades? I was like, yeah, I have no other place to go to. If you will admit me, I'll be happy. Then he asked me, which sport do you play? Remember again, sports. So I used to play basketball and badminton. And I told him I play netball. I play basketball. Then he's like, we don't have a basketball court, but you can play netball. And I'm like, yes, I can still play. And they gave me an admission without a coin. I didn't pay fees initially. So went back home, they gave me books, they gave me stuff, went back home, but I'm happy to have a mom who supported me through to finish that part of my journey. After high school, it wasn't an automatic entry to uni. Yeah, things were not that easy.
So you can say that you just got an average mark?
No, I got C+. So I qualified to go to uni. Resources were not there for me to go to uni. That was what I'm saying, things were not easy. I qualified. C.E.O. C+, that would have been an A in my girls. Anyway, fast forward, I went to the hospital. A friend of mine who was a year ahead of me had finished and was volunteering at a place called CAALY Test. Where they take care of abandoned babies, and they also use play therapy to take care of ailing children. And I found that very fascinating. So when they advertised for volunteers and they were taking high school graduates, I was like, awesome, I'm applying. Did the interview, scored very well, and I got the opportunity. Within there, I think you can say I'm a bit proactive, because when there were opportunities, like we need a librarian, I used to volunteer, and then I learned how to do library keeping and stuff like that. So I would get paid for the taking care of the babies, and also get a stipend, a little more stipend. So I used to earn 3K.
Oh, that was your first pay?
Yes, my first pay was 3,000 a month. And then when I became the librarian, then I started earning 3,500.
Okay, so before you were taking care of these kids, how was the experience? What was it all about?
You know, you feel like their mom. You try to empathize with the person who has abandoned the child. Because you'd rather abandon than kill the baby. You know that girls, because of teen pregnancies, sometimes it's even a complicated consensual relationship that will force a woman to either go and do illegal abortion or just kill a baby, because there's a child we once received who had been thrown in a pit latrine. She came with lots of maggots. I'm happy to say that for the part that I knew about her, she went into a family that adopted her, and she thrived very well. And imagine if that life had been lost. So it was a very fulfilling job.
Okay.
I've just finished high school, so I didn't know what the world had in store for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So
but now being in that street and taking care after these kids that have been abandoned, what is it that it had some lessons to life to you?
Of course.
What were some of these lessons that you...
Every life is valuable. And you can't squash a life just because you don't know its potential. Because I know we saw a lot. Children who've gone through trauma, who've gone through abuse, who've been, you know, somebody finds a child with complications and abandons them. Sometimes it's a hospital bill that's too much, so somebody leaves, you know, and not necessarily in our place. We would get from everywhere. And just the fact that you can be a mom to this child or a dad, because you also had male volunteers, and you come in, you change diapers, you clean the babies, you feed them, you bath them, you wash dishes. I think it's also a life skill which got me into motherhood early, and just to know the value of life of every person. Very because important. Even a child is a person.
Very important.
So very fulfilling, got me. And then we used to do bedside play therapy. So we had toys, we had books, we had some tablets, and we would go to the bedside of those kids who are very sick in the hospital, and you play with them, you tell them stories, you read for them, and it makes the hospitalization experience a bit better.
Okay.
So that's where I started.
Okay.
And it got me thinking about, is there anything more I could do? So for a long time, I knew I want to provide hope. I want to do things related to being a helper.
Okay.
So if anything I do is not helpful, you'll not find me in it.
Okay.
If you tell me to do something that doesn't help myself or someone else, I can't be part of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now transition now to university and now doing psychology.
So I before the university, I went and trained as a visiting counselor. In those years, 2007 to 2008, VCT had HIV voluntary testing was at the peak. And it was a good point to start from because, like I said, resources. So I did a certificate with NACADA at the time. Yeah, they were training 3-month courses. They train you, you learn how to do HIV testing and counseling. And from there, I started a higher diploma, which I never finished. Because of the nature of the work that I got at the time. I became a field counselor where the company I was working for at the time, we would go door to door in homesteads and do HIV testing. And from there, I wanted more. I felt it's not just enough to address the counseling related to the illness. You go to a homestead, there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of pain, there are suicidal thoughts, there are people depressed, life is already hard. You find people dealing with multiple health issues. And I wanted to give hope again, a little bit more. And that's where the desire now to go and do my undergraduate degree in psychology came in. And I applied, was successful, I got in. I went to the West Campus. At the time, we used to call it Moi University KPA campus.
Okay, that's Moi University.
Yes, and I enrolled and did well. Graduated with a second-class upper. However, it wasn't an easy journey because now you're an adult learner, you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. A lot of activities, responsibilities. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And even going to uni, I remember I did a fundraiser because to join uni, I didn't get JAB, so I got parallel. Parallel, you must have a minimum of 70,000 to join. Who is Lily? I have nothing. I have 1K. Application fee. That was how big my faith was.
Okay.
And how strong my dream was. And I knew I'll succeed. I don't know how. I am not one to really dwell on everything must be perfect. I try to, this is the direction I'm going, I'll make one step and get to the next step and get to the next step. So what I did, I did the application with the 1K that I had borrowed to refund end month when I get the salary. And I got in, but now I've gotten in. To get an admission number, I need to pay a minimum of the first semester fee, which was 70,000. I don't have, my mom doesn't have. What do? I try to hold a fundraiser. While I'm going through all that, there was a volunteer medical camp in our church where I was fellowshipping at the time. So I volunteered. I was an interpreter. Yes. Because now guys are speaking Swahili, these are Americans, and they're not understanding each other, so you translate. I became a translator rather, not an interpreter, a translator. Unajua kwa kanisa we say interpreter. In church say interpreter. So anyway. While I'm volunteering, this lady tells me, so she gives me symptoms. So when somebody comes with symptoms, she gives a diagnosis. I still have to translate it back. And then you find there were common symptoms. So she kept asking me now, she said 1, 2, 3, what do you think it is? And I tell her, is it this? Then she's like, yes, you're right. Because you've done like 5, 6, 10 of the same symptoms. So you can identify the primary symptoms. Then she asked me, what have you done? What's your background? I'm like, background? What background are you talking about? She's like, what have you studied in university? Then I told her I haven't gone to uni. I'm planning to. But she's like, you're smart. You should pursue your dreams. And we leave the conversation at that. So 7 days later, the camp is done. These guys are going back, and she asks me to tell her about myself and what my plans are with the uni, because I told her I've enrolled, but I don't know how in those course of the 7 days. And after that, eventually she tells me, we lack because we do not ask. The Bible says, ask and it shall be given. It didn't click what she's saying. I'm like, okay, fine, great. What's your Facebook handle? By then you don't have, I don't think I had a mobile phone, or she preferred my Facebook handle, I don't know. She asked me, then she friend requested me, and she left. So I'm doing the fundraiser, I think a month or 2 later. I'm doing the fundraiser to see whether I can raise the money to get an admission. And I think God was with me because I had raised 20K through my mom's friends, my own friends. My uncle gave me 1 or 2 things, 3K here and there, and I managed to raise 20. The 20 I went and deposited and took the bank slip. That day, the accountant for School of Arts was not there. So my slip was received by the accountant of School of Business. He gave me an admission number, less, I didn't have 70K, I had 20,000. So the accountant, when now months have passed, it's exam time, you know the policy. You have to clear your fees to get an exam card. So she asked me, how come you have an admission number? This now the admin for School of Arts. How come you have an admission number and you've not cleared your fees? She told me, God is with you. And from there, she became my friend. She was tough, but she was a friend. I love her to date. I feel like sometimes, like I told you, things happen in places. I feel I'm a Christian, so God puts people in places at the right time that you need them.
Very true.
So, yeah.
Later you graduated after
I graduated after all that. This lady later paid my fees.
Oh, surprising.
Yes, so I did the fundraiser on Facebook.
Oh.
Only one person marked attending, But when I went to the fundraising ground, I was alone with one of my friends from campus. No one showed up. Exams is next week. Then she told me, I saw you did a fundraiser. And I told her, yeah, but nothing happened. Then she reminded me, we lack because we do not ask. Then it hit me. What do I have to lose? I asked. Full fees paid for the entire period I was in uni. I graduated, got a second class honors upper division, and started a foundation to pay it forward. So I started Work Her Dream organization. We've taken so many girls to school because I don't think I can ever pay her back for the value she added to my life, and continues to add, because after me, through Work Her Dream, she took more girls to school. So I started.
So immediately after high school, you started this foundation?
After uni.
Even
while I was in uni, when I was in my fourth year, I started the foundation, but officially registered it 1 year after graduation.
After graduation.
Yes.
Work Her Dream.
Yes.
How successful has it been?
Depends with how you define success. Success for me is not numbers, but the girls that we have transformed. It's last year we celebrated our 8-year Thanksgiving. We had an 8-year Thanksgiving dinner celebration. Girls I found in grade 6 were graduating high school. Some of them have been called to JQuat, others to Moi. One said she doesn't want to go to uni, she wants to do hairdressing, and she's an intern even in my business, and she's going to graduate. She's in Eldoret Beauty College. So she's going to graduate soon. You know, sometimes you look at what do you want to do. It's not about do I have a degree. It's about what do I have that I can do with my hands. So her, she saw she has the basic skills, so she went. So for me, that's impact. That's success.
So what basically motivated you to start this particular foundation is for the fact that somebody held your hand.
Yes, when no one else could, and now I need to hold somebody else's hand. Imagine if she held my hand, one person. Through me and the networks we've created with Work Her Dream, we've supported more than 300 girls. So imagine these 300 girls, if they become successful also and pay it forward, because we believe all our beneficiaries must pay it forward. If they pay it forward, then the impact is a domino effect. And that is the passion and the vision I have behind the foundation. So from there, I think around 2019, again, things went down. When I was pregnant with my second born, I got a medical condition. So I was running a successful business, doing events, having the first call center in Eldoret, very entrepreneurial. I remember when I was a kid, I used to make cools. You know what cools are?
Not really.
Ice popsicles. But now they were not called popsicles, they were called cools. You put water and sugar, colored water and sugar in a tube, put it in a freezer, sell it for 2 bob. So I used to sell to kids and make money.
So from that go, you're very entrepreneurial and ready to get into business. And that is what you are doing. That was And then at what point now coming to CAALY Naturals? How did it come about?
So that's what I was talking about. In 2016, when I was pregnant with my daughter, I developed medical complications. So all the businesses that I had started, because they were based on me, you know, when you're in business, it's different when you are an entrepreneur. A business person, everything depends on you. When you're an entrepreneur, with or without you, your business can run. I was running businesses. They all collapsed because I was on bed rest throughout my entire pregnancy. So I couldn't work, I couldn't do anything, and things went under. And I lost everything. I didn't have prospects for a job. I didn't have prospects to start over, the capital to start over. I was desperate. So my brother at the time was working as an accountant in Dubai, and he just sent me an advert that they're employing. However, psychologists in Dubai are paid, I would say, like 7 times more than here in Kenya. So I thought, why not go, get employed, then there's something called you have to do something like a bridging course. So you have to go and do a certification course to be able to practice there.
Practice in Dubai.
And it's very expensive in Dubai to do that course. So I was willing to go get the job, then fund my certification course, then I get the employment. However, for the 3 months I was there, no
Dubai.
jobs.
In Dubai?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm too formal. If you meet me out there, you'll say I'm too serious. So the jobs that are there, like hotel industry, I'm too aged, if I can use that, to be like a server. There's a server, then there's a waiter. A server is junior to the waiter there. So to start, you need to smile all the time. It's a lot of work if you're stressed.
So
Yeah. So I
smiling is
couldn't
constant.
I would pass the interview very well because I can articulate myself well. But when it came to execution, I couldn't.
Become a problem.
I got a job at a salon, a call center for a salon because of the experience of my own call center. So I did, but you remember they have an Arabic accent. So I struggled a lot to, like, you're timed, your calls are timed. I did my interview, orals I passed. Practicals, day one, they expect you to have it figured out. I was like, you know what, I can't do this. Then I tried other professional jobs. I couldn't get them. Unfortunately, I think people don't value our education yet. I believe our education system gives us quality compared to some other countries. So anyway, long story short, I started losing my hair. When I'm stressed, I have an autoimmune condition. So I get like inflammation in the system. So the inflammation sometimes causes me to lose hair.
Whenever you're stressed?
It can be induced by stress. Sometimes it is induced by foods. So even right now, avoid sugar if you can. Inflammation and certain autoimmune conditions feed on sugar. Yes, even cancer feeds on sugar. So avoid sugar, avoid wheat if you can, avoid carbs. It's just the right nutrients. Anyway, I didn't know that, and because of stress I started losing hair. Then I met a lady and she's like, you know what, aloe vera grows there like grass. It's everywhere. It's a desert. And they have neem. Neem also thrives in very dry areas. So she's like, I can help you. Just remove your braids. I had gone with braids 3 months. Ladies, you know, 3 months with braids. So it had really caused some traction, and I have some photos of how I had lost the hair. So she made a mix of neem and some other oils, and then she taught me how to. So it became a side hustle. Again, I'm in a foreign land and I'm still doing a side hustle.
So you saw an opportunity there.
Of course, I have to survive. I have to eat. I have to do stuff. As much as my brother was there, he's not those who, and I love him for that. In our family, we don't get babied. You're an adult. You have to figure it out. It's an empowering thing, depending on how you look at it. For me, I found it very empowering. Of course, there are times you'll feel like, why me? You know? But in hindsight, it empowered me. So this lady teaches me how to make carrier oils. Carrier oils is where you infuse things into some oils like coconut oil, olive oil, and stuff like that. So I learned how to make carrier oils. And I found other women, African women, not just Kenyans, in my brother's church. And they're like, your hair was cut, now it's growing. What did you do? Then I tell them, I have an elixir. I can give it to you. And that is our hair growth oil formula. So, of course, I later went to school, learned how to formulate, and then now improved.
Back now in Dubai?
No, I had to come back to Kenya. Things didn't work out, but I came with a basic knowledge. And I had been taught how to formulate, and I saw the power in using natural ingredients, considering how I'm allergic to many things. So just seeing that I can use natural ingredients and recover my hair. What more is there that I'm not learning? I'm very curious and very inquisitive.
So on your way back to Kenya from Dubai, you had already made up your mind that this is what I want to
I
do?
hadn't made up my mind.
Uh-huh.
I just knew while I'm in Dubai, I'm surviving.
Uh-huh.
I'm surviving by selling this oil. 1, 2 dirhams, 6 dirhams. That translates to like 600 bob, and you're making your money. So I come back to Kenya. I had bought a stick blender, a Kenwood stick blender, and some silicone molds because I had learned how to make soap also. So I come, the molds are there, I'm not using them because I don't have even a coin to start the business. My kids are here. Of course, I thank God for their dad for supporting us at the time. At this time, I've come back, so because I was away, the kids are at my mom's because their dad couldn't stay with them alone, of course. So they're at my mom's, so I go and join them briefly before now I go back to my home. And wow. I tell my mom, after I come back home, Kwanzaa, she asks me, what have you done to your hair? It's different. It has more volume. It's stronger. Then I tell her, there's an oil I've been using. She's like, let me use. Then I show her how to use it. She had started to lose hair in the middle.
Okay.
So I apply, I massage, I do all those things for her. I do the technique that I was shown because it's not just about the product. There's a technique on how you need to do it to achieve the results you want. And she starts to get the results. This oil has some ingredients which slows down graying and also reverses. So the new part of the hair that's growing will come out black. Even if you had gray, but it also depends with your genetics and your hormones. So some of my mom's hair started growing black. A neighbor who's a retired teacher asked, hey, so what are you using? She's like, my daughter came with something. Let her show you. Then this madam comes and she's like, I want that. Then I tell her, it's the only one I have. You know how to make, you will make. Sell that to me.
Okay.
And that's how the business started. Sell that to me. I was going to give it away. She paid, I think, 300 bob. Then I borrowed some money from my mom, I think 500 bob, and decided that's now when the decision to start CAALY Naturals came. Okay. And it didn't start as CAALY, it started as Masai Naturals.
Now that is when it hit you that it can be business.
Yes, the fact that I had made 300 shillings and I started making the hair products, making that. And then my daughter's hair is awesome. Natural, full, responds very well. I've never put chemicals on her hair. So I needed to figure out how to manage. Remember, when you don't have money, it forces you to be creative and innovative. So I learned how to do twists for her hair. I would boil flax seeds, get the gel, apply it on her hair without anything else, and twist her hair with that. Outside the chini ya miti, under the tree, and yeah, you bond.
Now an idea has been born that this is business. Started as Masai Naturals. Now to transform now to, at what point did you make it professional?
I did that. Now this is in 2019, at October of 2019. So I'm learning, and then somebody tells me, I start talking to other people about it. I have these oils. You know what I used to do? Our packaging has really improved over time. I would go to salons because I didn't know where to even get a bottle to pack, and borrow old bottles and recycle them, and then put my product in it, label it with a masking tape, and then put that there. Photos are somewhere. And sell it like that. It wasn't appealing, but it was functional. Then somebody told me, do you know about kirdi? I'm like, kirdi, what is kirdi? I'd never really paid attention. I've had it in the news, but I don't know what it does. I don't know what happens. And I'm grateful to them because they reached out to someone in Nairobi and they asked if they can train, and I was trained how to make treatments and butters. Because oils I already knew how to make, carrier oils. So I went and learned how to make treatments and butters. However, the naturalness, I had to again do an online course. to learn how to make natural products. Now, what are natural preservatives? What are natural oils? What are natural ingredients that will give you the results? Because I wanted to stick with the natural, which I had personally benefited from. And from there, continued doing research. I recently discovered there are scientific studies that have been done using natural oils, and they have a great impact on skin conditions, on scalp conditions, and people are recovering. And it's very encouraging to know that now, even in Kenya, I can contribute to that. Because I'm working with a few people. We are doing like a qualitative study, which we are following a few of our clients for a period of 18 months. And each of them have different conditions, and they're using these natural products. And of course the techniques. And within 4 sessions, your hair will grow back if you have alopecia. Yeah.
Now, before going into details, now talking about what we call market reception. Because there are a lot of young people and a lot of people who always start or come up with an idea, start a business, but they get discouraged by impression and reception in the market. How was your reception, especially when you told somebody about those first clients, explaining their products, trying to market your product, bringing this product into the market? How was it? How was the experience?
It wasn't easy. I'd tell you, I was discouraged because right in the home, when I now had the business idea, I told one of my family members, I'm going to have this business and it's going to be successful. And they laughed. Business, they laughed, because sometimes they are not the ones with the vision. You're the one with the vision. You're the one who sees what you have. You're the one who sees the value. So how you communicate that will determine how it is received. I have no background whatsoever in marketing or even in pitching. At the time, I didn't have. So I was just presenting the idea that was in my head, and it sounded so far-fetched. Because remember, I'm getting bottles, it's masking tape, and you're saying it's a business. People laughed. I told a few people, could you invest? In fact, I was not only looking for 10K because I needed to buy one machine, a weighing scale machine, which is 800 bob, and I couldn't raise 10K. So what did I do? I started doing something called bootstrapping. I had heard about bootstrapping on YouTube and with a few people, and I also watch Vusi's videos on business. So you get 200 shillings, you pump it all back
into the business.
You sacrifice everything. So it came with a lot of sacrifice, a lot of ridicule, people laughing at the ideas, being taken advantage of. I remember I approached someone, I won't say whom, but she's a public figure. And later I learned she's done that to a number of upcoming brands. She was supposed to build my brand. You can imagine I'm struggling that much. I go take a loan in a chama I was in, over 100,000. I pay her. To date, she has never delivered.
What is it that you're expecting from her?
Branding. To review our brand image, to design a new logo, and to give me now what she thinks would be a receptable package in the market. Because she sampled our products, it was very good, but it needed to be packaged right to be received. So those are some of the challenges, being taken advantage of because you're naive, you're venturing into a business that you've not been there before. Then a friend of mine had started a cosmetic business. She was doing very well. I remember asking her, do you know where I can source materials? You know, the way you think you can ask someone and they'll just give you information. She's like, no, I don't know. And she just went mum on me. And I have struggled because now I think in Eldoret, we are the first company that manufactures natural. We are the first to start. I know many others have come up, but we were the very first. So we didn't know where to source. In fact, some of those who are also manufacturing buy some of their raw materials from us.
Now, despite now the discouragement and also the wet blankets, people looking down on you, and also people taking advantage of you, and to some extent, somebody said, "Mtu kukufunza kuishi town." Now, what is
character development.
What is it that kept you going, and also knowing the vision? What is it that kept you going, and also looking forward to grow this brand?
I think my childhood has taught me one thing. If it's anything, it's to be resilient, to know that it will get better. It has to. You know, like you hold on to it, you refine it. You don't hold on to things stupidly, or if I'm sorry to say it like that, like you just don't hold on to nitauza tu mboga leo, niuze mboga kesho, niuze mboga kesho kutwa, competitors are coming up, and you don't know how to innovate. You don't know how to improve yourself. You're doing the same thing the same way and expecting it to be different. So I started asking people for feedback. That is a very strong component of our business. Feedback from customers. If this product was packaged differently, how would you like it to look like? Then they tell you the expectations, and you start to plan yourself according to, you know now where the expectation is, so you start working towards it. Eventually we got to the expectation, and still we are not there yet. We are still improving our packaging. When I say packaging, it's not just the physical packaging of the product. It is how do you package yourself as a business. What is your brand personality? What is your business acumen? What are your values? Where are you going? Do you just want to build a multi-million-dollar company, then you sell it off? Do you want to build a franchise business? What do you want to do? Because you need to know the kind of business you want to build. Do you want to set up a family business where it's nice and cozy and we are comfortable just being in Eldoret? So just knowing exactly where you fit in the big picture, starting from there, then working yourself backwards. That's my approach. Because if I know the end, then I can persevere the present. We have, there's a time, I didn't start from where I am. I started in my mom's kitchen. And there's a time I was making products and I'm selling, and somebody came at home and found me making. I was using sufurias and basic tools in the house.
What was available?
Yes, and I knew it will give me, of course the work was hard because it's handmade. So if you're whisking, you whisk and you whisk and you whisk until you can doze while you're whisking. You know, it's tiring, but I think it helped me build my biceps, make it stronger and reduce the fat. Anyway, on a light note. And this person was like, so this is how you make them. So you're not even a professional. You get professional, according to most people, is machines and equipment and gadgets, but that requires money. I don't believe you must have all the money to get started. I don't believe you must have everything to get started. I went for an incubation at some point with work while I was with Work Academy. It was called CAALY, Young African Leaders Initiative. I went for a civic track, but I used to borrow ideas from the entrepreneurship track. They were taught you must have an MVP, a minimum viable product, and that is what I was working on. And when I got the hair growth oil, I knew it's working. This is my minimum for hair. When I did the body butter for skin and I saw it is working and it's excellent, I knew this is my MVP for skincare. And that's proof of concept. So you can start talking to people to support you. And that's what I did. Went to another incubation program in Nairobi. Now I know what I want, but they stripped down my idea. And that helped me. It can offend you that you think you know, you don't know. We will strip it down. They question you until you know what you know to be exactly what you claim it to be. And I think that stripping was very important for me. People who challenge you, I don't want yes people around me. I want people who will tell me, Lily, this is not working. Lily, you cannot say your oil works and you've not documented it. Where is the evidence? Who has used it? How can we track it? Those questions are very important to anyone who's doing anything. It doesn't matter whether it's a mtumba business, which I have done, whether it is a catering business or whether it is baking. All these businesses I've done, I've attempted. Once you know that you have a unique product, even if there are a million others like yours, you know it. They question you, you know, and you can defend your product and know, or your service, and know the value that it is bringing, and it can add to the population, then you run with it. You'll make Coca-Cola made sold how many bottles? Was it 10 or 20 bottles in a year?
Yeah, for a
in my first year, my annual turnover, the whole year, was less than 10K.
But that was progress.
Less than 10K, and you're telling people you don't want to be employed.
Okay.
You're going to be successful. How? In what? Where is the hope?
Where is the connection?
Where is the connection? Why are you doing this? You have a degree, go get a job. And that really rang in my head until at some point, let me tell you, those voices can get to your head because they got to mine. At some point, I was like, you know what? Let me give up. Let me not really give up on the business, but let me do the bare minimum with the business, get a job. And I did. I got a job. I loved my job. I think it's now a month since I left my job. And the fulfillment I'm getting right now, I'm not telling anyone to leave their job. Please don't. You'll do it when the time is right. Because I've stuck there with the idea of, is it time to leave? I analyze and I'm like, no, it's not yet time. So I push. I employed people. The business was running with or without me. Although I'm the lead formulator, but I used to get assistance in the production. So we would do night shifts. You imagine you've done your 8 to 5. Like I told you, I'm a mom, so I go home, do stuff at home. Then 9 p.m., I go to the factory. And it's time to do production till 4 a.m. Then you go home, shower, change or sleep 1 hour, shower, change, go back and do your 8 to 5.
Okay, Lily, before we take a very short break, you mentioned something about value addition and also something about adding value to what you, because you've talked about criticism and people criticizing what you are doing, and also you have to take it positively. This is something that a lot of young people fail to do. People criticize and then they give up, they just close the business. But now and talk about value addition from the products that you had in mind at inception to what CAALY products are. It is a journey that we can attest. Having this product, talk about branding, packaging and all that, having it as Masai free. Now, how have you invested on value addition to have this final product? Because it is a journey that a lot of people sit back and they are just comfortable. But now we are seeing a lady who was ready to take the staircase and walk with this product to be what it is. Talk about value addition. How do you bring and add value to your products and until you say that now this is something that I wanted?
So again, I love to get mentors. So any good entrepreneur, you'll have mentors. You love to read books. You love to learn. You must learn. In your niche, in your field of study, you must do that. So I do that. And one of my mentors, I think he's a known person in Eldoret. He's called Mwangi's, of Mwangi's Q-Tex. So I remember I told you at some point I was going to raise 10K. Then I told him, after some time I realized I have a good product and I need packaging, I need to do what, I need to do marketing, I need to add more products. One of the things is clients give you feedback, so you innovate, you learn, you study, you read scientific papers, you look at what research has been done in that area, so that your knowledge is not just based on Google search. It is research based, it can be duplicated, it can be replicated, and you can add value to what you're already doing. You can learn from other people's mistakes, and you don't have to go down that route yourself. And then going back to school to study. Now, like right now, I'm starting a course in trichology. Trichology is completely different. We're already doing scalp analysis. The first people in Eldoret to offer scalp analysis. There's no one else doing that service. And even further, we treat people with scalp folliculitis. So there's the conventional treatment. People use steroids and again they react to the steroids. Now they want a natural alternative. I figured I can send you this product to use. If you don't know how to use it properly or why you need it, then you will not use it properly. So we add value to our customers by giving them knowledge. You come, We do a scalp analysis. You see how your hair looks like, how your scalp looks like, what is the porosity of your hair, what conditions do you have, is your scalp healthy, are your hair thinning in the follicles and stuff like that. I know I'm talking a lot of jargons, but from there now, if you have dandruffs, now you know, allow me to take something as simple as that. It could be a fungal infection. It could be a skin condition called scalp psoriasis. It could be different things. It's just how it presents. So we have a team also with a dermatologist and a nutritionist because we offer a holistic approach. From there you go, we come and do the treatments. From these treatments now we can advise you which products to buy. So you're not just buying our products for the sake of buying because it's a good product. You buy because you know what you need. And when you know what you need, then it will work for you because you will use it also the right way. And you won't give up along the way. And innovation is part and parcel of who we are. We can't continue formulating without innovating. Yeah.
Okay, now I'm tempted to ask, because I'm talking about scalp and analysis and what have you. I don't know if you have treatment for baldness. We'll talk about that
when we come back. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's quite an exciting interaction that we have with the director of CAALY Naturals Limited, who is the other day she just resigned. She'll be giving us some details about the same. We'll be back shortly after this break. Thank you. viewers, welcome back to this amazing episode. And remember, our guest tonight is Lily Okeyo, who is the director and founder of CAALY Natural Products. We are coming to you live on Facebook, and remember, you're also on YouTube. You can go there and share. And also, if you have a question to our guest tonight, please drop on the comment section so that she can be in a position to respond in the course of this particular interview. And if you have any other comment, please don't hesitate, and remember to share so that our friends can be in a position to know that you're part of this conversation. We were having a beautiful discussion, and I had mentioned something. Somebody was asking, is there any treatment for baldness?
Yes and no. Depending on the severity of the baldness, it varies from one person to another. For some people, the treatment depends also on the cause. So we do extensive assessments. You'll find there's a condition, I won't tell you jargons, but let me explain the condition, where if you have high inflammation markers in your body, so you're at risk of many immune inflammation disorders. So your body, the immune issues, they go and attack the follicle of your hair. And the hair has 3 stages. So it prematurely sends your hair into a resting phase. Resting phase is where the hair is detached from the follicle, and therefore that hair falls off. And if that happens frequent enough, then you constantly have hair fall. That one can be remedied, and it can be remedied holistically. So we have to treat internally, and that's why we have the dermatologist and the nutritionist, and then also topically with the products that we have. Then there is another condition called alopecia areata. This one, again, you start to lose your hair in patches. That one is reversible, depending again on how advanced it is. If it's very advanced, it can reverse, but it will take longer to reverse it. Then we have something else called traction alopecia, which is caused by tight hairdos. So you've done braids, you've done maybe these temporary dreadlocks and it's too tight, or you're always, when you're retouching your dreadlocks, they are a bit pulled too tight or turned too tight, so the hair gets pulled from its follicles and forms micro wounds. These micro wounds, as they heal, they scar. So where there is a scar, hair cannot grow through. So that follicle becomes dormant, and eventually it stops producing hair. So those ones can be reversed. And there's also another one called androgenic or male pattern baldness. Both affects both men and women because it's it's caused by hormonal issues. Again, this one is treated holistically with the products topically and nutritionally. And again, if you have any other dermatological issues, maybe you can have a fungal infection in the scalp that is causing you to itch constantly, and when you itch again, too much itching, it can cause you to pull the hairs from the roots or cause micro wounds again, and then as they heal, they scar, you again suffer hair loss. Again, there is hair loss because of stress. When you're too stressed, you can start losing hair, and when that happens, again, all this is reversible. So when you come to my station for treatment, we have a hair and skin care treatment center, also where we have the company. And when you come to the center, you get to have a therapist who also checks your mental wellness, just to make sure that you're not overly stressed about your image, and giving you conversations that are also relaxing. So I will always be a therapist, so I tend to incorporate the therapy into what we do, giving people hope, making sure, because if you're balding and it's premature balding, it can affect your self-image. We thank God for Sauti Sol and bald men and stuff like that, but not everybody is comfortable having a bald head.
Now talking about skincare and now what you do, because when talk about image, even a lot of young people and also business people rarely do they take it serious when it comes with skincare. It's until you get some funny kind of
bumps,
and all rashes and what have you. That's when now you can seek some help of a dermatologist. But how important is it when talk about skincare? to any other person outside there?
I'll say it's as important as why you sleep and why you eat. Remember, the skin is the biggest organ we have.
True.
It's the biggest entry point to our systems. It's also the biggest surface area where we remove toxins from our body. So when you remove toxins and you have, again, natural bacteria on your skin, natural, sometimes if the pH of your skin is not right, our normal pH is 5.5 for most people. So if your skin pH goes lower or higher, then it can provide an environment where you now have the infections, and that is why you need the treatment. If you do not detox or do facials and detox your armpits, because you can start having a very bad odor sweat. So what we do as a company, it's not just providing you with a product. We work with corporates. You can imagine you're serving customers, you're at the front desk, you're serving customers, but when you lift your hands to say hello, you even with deo, you find that your sweat or your armpits are removing a bad odor. It's not your fault. Sometimes it's the toxins that are there. So how do you detox then? What products do you use to detox? So we do educational forums. We usually have conversations. They are virtual conversations, sometimes in person. They're called conversations with CAALY. So we talk about hair care, we talk about skin care. It's a free, people join and have these conversations. Then we also have consultation services. So you can come in for a consultation and you get to meet the team. I said we approach it from a holistic perspective so that you don't want to suffer acne for a long time, yet with the right product, the right nutrients, and the right routine, you can be able to cure acne within a short time. The risk of recurrence become part of the CAALY Naturals family. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's something that it's a web of kind of business, and also
Yes.
you've mentioned a lot about what you do through the business, about the journey with the client and building. At the end of the day, it contributes to the growth of the company. Now, talking about now the company itself,
Yes.
we've talked about the way you started. What is the current state of the company? To how big is the company currently?
I'd say we're growing. Now that I've transitioned from employment and I'm in business, there's room for us to grow even faster. I was limited because I was serving 2 masters at the same time. So sometimes a client would want your attention, but you're not available. Now I'm available full time in the business. How I have seen the growth rate in the last 1 month, I would say we've almost doubled our income. We have seen more clients coming in for consultations. The service center, right now on Friday, Saturday, we are fully booked. The other days of the week, we can still take on clients. And all this is showing potential for growth, and also in that industry, there's a lot of growth, because you can imagine in Kenya, we anticipate that this beauty industry is going to grow to become 28 billion worth of dollars by 2028. So there's a lot of potential and there's a lot of space for all of us. I can't limit myself. We have stockists for our products in Eldoret. We have them at Adon, we have them at Slay Cosmetics, and a few others that are currently looking to stock. So accessibility is going to increase. We are at Komora Gardens, our godown is there. So you can also come and purchase from us directly and get all these other services, the consultation and the treatment center services.
Okay.
So we also have stockists in Nairobi and at the river. So we are slowly now distributing our, if I were an octopus, I would say my arms into the different counties. So the business has really grown from these 2 products to, I think, hair we have 11 products, skincare we have about 14 products with 52 different stock keeping units. So they come in different sizes. So that's the product side. the service side, we offer different kinds of services. So we have growth stimulating treatments, we have scalp healing treatments. Sometimes you just have sensitive scalp. When you touch, you feel pain. When you itch, you feel pain. It's just too sensitive. When you put hot water, it's a problem. When you put very cold water, it's a problem. So we also do natural scalp healing treatments. We design our products and our services based on the needs of our customers. So a customer will come. There's one new product that's coming up. It's an oil that helps with cold burns. You know, we have things for sunburns and sunscreen for sun. However, in our region here in the North Rift region, in Nandi, in the Marakwet, it can be very cold. Also towards Limuru, it can be very cold. And we have customers in these regions, in Kericho. And they develop a black lesion over time as a result of cold burns. So we started developing a product last year. We have a few people who are willing to use the products, and hopefully soon we're going to launch it to cure. So that's how we develop our products, based on customers' needs, customized to your individual needs. So you can use what is already there, but if your needs are further than what we have in stock, we customize. The other part that, in terms of growth that I have seen, we started with one company that we were doing contract manufacturing for. So we do private label manufacturing. You don't need to just, if you want to sell, you don't need to only sell CAALY. You can also have Dandan beard oil. By the way, you could.
Yeah, we can have a discussion about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we design it for you, we formulate it for you. That becomes your formula. You can buy the formula and go to KEBS with it and get the certification. And you own it. And then as we do all the back end for you, we produce it, we package it, we ship it to wherever you'll tell us to ship it. And you're making your money as a side business. We're doing the sweaty work for you. Yeah.
Thank you. That is a great business idea. Yeah. I think we'll have a discussion on the same.
Yeah.
Now, talking about now management principle, what do you think is the level of management that you've input in this business, and what is your management style that you think has helped in growth of this business?
I think out of the trainings and incubation and mentorship, it depends with, there are places where you have to take a directive approach, but I lead from the front. I lead by doing. I show you, you observe me do, we do, the CBC approach, then you do. And that way, you leave your doors open. You can always come back to me to learn more from me. And that has been the approach with CAALY. Even with Worker Dream, that's my leadership style. Observe me do, so you can see how it is done. Then we do it together. You're building somebody's skill set. Then you let them do it, and then you give productive feedback. That is in terms of people management and also how to mentor others. So then I can create room for me to do the leadership work, and then have a team that people are becoming experts and running their own fields. I would say managing a business wasn't easy. I don't think there is a one-size-fits-all style. It's you to decide what works for my business. Because I would tell you, do the directive approach, then your people ask, Kwani, you're our boss now, and it can really bring resistance. But there are places where you're required to be a director, so you direct. There are places where you're required to be a mentor, so you mentor. There are places where you're a trainer. There are places where now you put yourself under the expert. For example, I have an accountant, a consultant accountant. I have no idea. My last business course or class was in grade 6. I was in class 6. I never did business education even in high school. So I have no clue sometimes even how to do books. But I'm willing to sit down and be told, and it's my business. So having that mentality to be instructed by your juniors, instructed by your colleagues or peers, and being instructed by your seniors, I have learned a lot from business owners in Eldoret. A lot. seeing them build their empires and learning from them. So I think putting all those things in place help you with leadership and professionally now running a business.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, talking about now challenges in the current day business, and what I'm sure there are myriads of challenges that you undergo, but talk about not even specific kind of business, but in general, what are some of the challenges that you encounter either on day-to-day basis, monthly, yearly, that you can say these are the uphill tasks that and the bottlenecks?
You've said tasks and bottom lines, and I've thought about taxes. Of course. Of course, we're not enjoying the fact that it is very hard to run a manufacturing company in Eldoret, leave alone in Kenya. In Eldoret, it's hard. Number one, raw materials can be difficult to source. I source my shea and cocoa butter from Ghana. Sometimes a client wants a product, they need it formulated, it's out of stock, and they're traveling and stuff like that. So there's that frustration of bringing in stuff. My suppliers sometimes have brought in bulk goods. They're not being cleared in time. So you've paid, but it hasn't been cleared at the port in good time. So it affects your production timelines. However, having said that, on the flip side, I work with local farmers. Like right now, I'm really looking for organically grown peppermint and spearmint. We buy from them. And that makes it easy for me to source here because I'm in a farming region. So it's not all doom and gloom, but it is challenging. The value of the shilling has really gone down. 500 bob that you had in January will not buy you the same things it did in January now. So right now you can find your 500 bob in January is now worth 700 shillings. And that means that it is difficult to run the business as is. If you increase prices, for example, we just did a price adjustment after a period of like 2 years. We lost customers. And that is part and parcel of business. But I'd rather lose that than compromise on quality. So to maintain quality, I wish we would get waivers for local manufacturing and value addition businesses and things that are also using raw materials locally. I think maybe the business or the manufacturing industry, we could have policies that can help support us and grow us and support the business environment really. It's hard to make a profit right now. I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it's hard because people are making profits. Depends on what you're doing.
What you're doing. Okay. Those are just some of the challenges. Now, talking about somebody is just watching this and they've been following from the start of this interview and they saw Lily starting this particular business. Now you're talking about importing your butter and shea from Ghana. Definitely zeroes down to financial implication. Have you managed to grow your finances, and what is the role of finance that you apply in your business? Because we've had guests to talk about being risk averse, and some are risk takers when it comes to debt. Some talk about equity, some talk about having investors into your business. What is the role of finances that has helped you to grow your finances and also your shilling to be now in a position to employ other people and to grow your business and also looking forward to expand your business?
Initially, I didn't even understand those questions you've asked me. Initially, when I started the business, I was willing to sell my 50% of my business for 100,000 shillings. I was that naive. So don't sell your idea or your business too early. Develop it, do research, understand it. Then as it grows, for example, allow me to use this example, the guy who sold the M-Pesa idea. If he stuck with it just a little longer, he would have sold it for more, or even maybe sold a portion and remained with 3% shares, and he would have a lifetime of income.
Very true.
So my idea about growing money is to understand and read Business Daily from time to time, read Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad, Poor Dad, read Who Moved My Cheese, read The Richest Man in Babylon. You know, those they're classic books but they are relevant. Again, on top of all that, I also have scriptures that keep me motivated. Like I told you, I'm a Christian. CAALY was born when I was crying, and with God, like, you know, those questions you're asking God, what can I do? And then I'm reading about Moses, and it's, what do you have in your hands? And I'm like, what do I have in my hands? So learning about principles of money, the Bible says you are a what? A prisoner to your debtor.
Very true.
So if you owe someone, you'll never outgrow debts. But there are good debts. A debt that adds, I will never, right now I don't own a car. Somebody was telling me that, I think 2 weeks ago, one of my clients told me, now you should have a car, like a van where you put your things, and then I'm not there. I don't want to buy a car, which is a liability that will take away when I want to expand into other markets. I need to put money into marketing, not into a car. Logistics, I can outsource the services. So just understanding what to put your money in that will multiply it faster in your idea, or like I have meant multiple things. So I'd rather put my money on hair growth oil, results guaranteed within 6 weeks. So I know you will come back. I'd rather put my money on more body butter. And with that, you develop things that are quality. You develop services that are reliable, and it adds value. So from there, again, bootstrapping. Don't be too quick to pay yourself. Wait for your business to break even, then you can pay yourself. Having said that, it's not that when I'm saying, remember I had a job. Right now I don't have a job. So I earn a certain amount of commission from the works that I do. I don't take all my commission. I take some, just enough to buy food and do the bare minimum. Everything else I bootstrap, put it back in the business, multiply it. Whatever gave me that money, if it was hair growth oil, it goes back to hair growth oil. It will not go to body butter. So just understanding, I have a spreadsheet of how income is distributed. So every coin that comes, every 100 shillings is assigned a vote. Like out of this 100, this percent, this percent, this percent, this percent goes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. So, and that is how I run the business, keeping it simple for me as a layman in finance, but also having experts like consultants, what are they called? Administrative finance people, because they do admin and finance. Somebody who's done CPAs, somebody who's done all these things, and they know how to prepare income statements. You know, they will even tell you, this is an administrative cost, this is a manufacturing cost, this is your manufacturing account, this is what, I don't know, I was putting expenses and income, and then knowing what my bottom line is. Yeah, so that's what I would say about money. Money gives birth to money. Yeah.
Money gives birth to money.
Yeah.
And then also, I think what I've gotten clearly is get experts who are going to advise on the same. Now, talking about now the future of CAALY and people you've brought the business to, what do you think is the future of CAALY?
We are the #1 go-to company for your natural hair and skincare solutions. When I say solutions, we hope to, like I said, franchise, especially the hair treatment, scalp and treatment center. So we are training people how to do it, and then you get your scalp analyzer, then you set it up. And that's what I'm looking for, partners to do that with. I'm looking for, like, the future of CAALY is also to expand beyond Eldoret, beyond Nairobi, beyond Kenya, into the East African market and also into the global market. Yeah, I'd say that's the future, but maintaining its quality. For me, it's about my customer. Every customer counts. The same principle DHL has. Every client is a person and is valuable to the company. And that's the same principle. You never go wrong when you put people first. Yeah.
So every client is very important.
Yes, and very valuable.
That's what you mean. Just a small, before you give us a parting shot, and also just to give you some response from our viewers, there is this person who wants to venture into this kind of business. Can you, in just a nutshell, take us through the whole journey of starting such a company, and also especially when it comes to manufacturing and also bringing up a product into the market, just having the right things at the right time, at the right place?
If I knew then what I know now, I would have contracted someone to do the job for me. But I hadn't done enough research in the space to know that there are people who offer that service. I would start there, then continue learning, and then eventually buy the formula, then learn how to formulate myself if I'm going to start making products.
Okay.
It doesn't take much to start. You can start with one product. Have that as your entry to market. Or if you have all the money, again, just design, sit with somebody. You can come with us. We also do consultation on business development in this kind of business. So you can come sit with me, buy me some tea. We sit down and I'll help.
Okay.
I'm happy to mentor others because I was also mentored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very true. So I think also you're giving us the location and what have you, so that our viewers can reach out. Just to go through some comments so that you can respond if there is a question, and also you'll give us a closing remark. Nancy Tenai here talking about mind opening. This is just impressive. This is a viewer, very hardworking lady. She has impacted so many people. This is Anita. Then somebody is asking, are you a doctor? She knows much. Impressive. This is Phil Olama. Are you a doctor?
No, like I said, I'm a therapist, and then I've also done formulation. I'm not a doctor. I work with a consultant dermatologist who's the doctor. But like I said earlier also, I love to learn. So as long as I can learn, I'm very inquisitive, I'm very curious. So I learn a lot. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that answers our viewer. And then Janet Sote is saying, go Lily. There's somebody who is clapping for you.
Thank
seriously.
you.
And somebody said that you clap for others until your time comes. Okay, Lily, what is your parting shot to our viewers tonight?
Don't give up. Don't give up, because when you give up on yourself, then no one else will be your champion. You can only take yourself to the next step. You don't have to see the end of the staircase to start climbing. Just keep going. You have the vision, no one else does. So you're the only one who knows where you want to go. And keep doing it. No matter what. Challenges come. Things happen. Sometimes you'll feel very depressed. If you feel depressed, come talk to me. I'll tell you what to do. I still enjoy my therapy career. I still enjoy giving people hope. And that's what I exist for, to help and to give hope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. What an amazing conversation. And the most important thing that I've gotten tonight is, if it's not about helping yourself and helping others, then you don't have business. You don't have a reason to do it.
Yeah.
I think that is an inspiration line that we've gotten tonight. Thank you, Lily, for coming through to our show tonight. I think it's been very impactful, and for you to keep this conversation going, please, what is it that you've learned from this conversation? Please drop on the comment section, and let's keep this conversation going even after this particular show. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being part of this conversation tonight. I think it's something that it keeps on going and it keeps on getting better. We are going to have another conversation come next week, same time, same place, and definitely we are going to have with another amazing guest, just like tonight's. So until next week, I was your host, Dan.
success stories, value markets, and financial education. This is the CEO Show. Hosted by Dan. Business minds, pioneering and inspiring entrepreneurs. Creative talks, CEO insights, success stories, value markets, and financial education.